Gino, this is a little video that Mima made for you, and it tells the story of the day you were born. Your mommy and daddy were so excited when Dr. Tamor told mommy that you were growing in her tummy. Not where the food is, but in a very special place in a mommy's tummy called her uterus. And you were in there, tiny, tiny little Gino. And for 9 months, you got bigger and bigger and kept growing until you were big enough to come out. Mommy and Daddy had spent 9 months getting ready for you. They bought clothes for you and diapers for you and food for you and toys for you. And they had a little cradle all ready next to their bed for a place for you to sleep. On the morning of December 11th, 2014, Daddy took Mommy to the Long Beach Memorial Hospital. This is where you were going to be born. Dr. Tamor had your mommy put on some special hospital clothes. And Daddy wanted to be in the room when you came out of Mommy's tummy too, so he had to put on special hospital clothes. This was to make sure there were no germs in there that would make you get sick. This is a picture of Mommy before she went into the special room where you were going to be born. There's another room at the hospital called the waiting room, and this is where the family was waiting. We were all there at the hospital, just sitting there waiting until Daddy would come out and tell us, "Guess what? Gino is here." Here's a picture of some of us that were there. There was Uncle Fred and Aunt Sharon. Aunt Vicky was there. Mike Peterson, your daddy. There was Papa, Mima, and Bump, and Joey came from Acton, and Uncle Brian was there too, but he wasn't in this picture. Here's a picture of Daddy, and he's going to do something very special that daddies get to do. The way that you ate when you were inside Mommy's tummy was that there was a cord that went from inside Mommy's stomach to your stomach, and she gave you food. That was called the umbilical cord. And after a baby is born, he's able to eat with his mouth, so he doesn't need the umbilical cord anymore. So it's the daddy's job to cut the umbilical cord and fix it so you have a belly button. That's what your belly button reminds you of, that once when you were a little baby inside of Mommy, Mommy gave you food through that umbilical cord. This is one of the first pictures of you. You were born with lots of curly black hair, and your eyes were open right away. I guess you wanted to see the world. Here's another little picture of you. This is the first time that Daddy got to hold you. They put a little hat on your head because that's a way to help babies stay warm, and they wrapped you up in a nice warm blanket. Daddy was so happy. They had been waiting so long for you to be big enough to be born. This is the first family picture of Gino with his mommy and his daddy. When you came out of the special room where you were born, you came into the waiting room. Mommy was still in a bed because she was tired, and she was holding you, and Daddy was behind them. And all of us who were in the waiting room ran over to the bed that was moving on wheels so we could see Mommy and we could meet you for the first time. Then Dr. Tamor took Mommy and Daddy and you into your room where you were going to stay for a couple days while you got a little bit bigger before they let you go home. Your mommy did not want to put you down. She wanted to just keep holding you and looking at you. She loved you so much. Doesn't Mommy look happy to have her baby Gino? You were wearing a little bracelet around your wrist that had your name on it. so that they would know that you were Gino and that you belonged to Mark and Charlotte Altieri. Here's Daddy talking to you. Look how little you were. Daddy could hold you in his one arm. You sure have grown up big from then, haven't you? One of the first people to hold you after Mommy and Daddy was Uncle Brian. He was so happy to have a little nephew, and he kept calling you Gino Bossy, Gino Bossy. He was so happy. Papa came into the room too, and he held you for the first time. Then we started playing Pass the Baby because everybody wanted to hold Gino. Here's Aunt Vicky. She said, "It's my turn now." And then Mima got her turn to hold you. And then Bump. This is your first picture with Mima and Bump. So happy to have a new little grandson. Uncle Brian said, "Oh, he's awake. I want to hold him now. Again, again, again." Auntie Millie was there, and she took her turn. She thought you were a beautiful baby. And even Gabriel was there and said, "I want to hold him. I can't wait till he gets big enough so that he can play with me." Uncle Mike was on a business trip, but he called on the phone, and this is your first FaceTime with somebody. It looks like you're talking to Uncle Mike. I don't remember. What did you say to him? It was probably baby talk. Goo goo ka ka ba ba. Uncle Fred said, "Now it's my turn to hold Gino." And Aunt Sharon said, "No, give him to me. You have to share." Uncle Mike Peterson came. He was going to be your godfather and be a very special person in your life because he was Daddy's best friend. Even the guys from Daddy's work came to meet you, and they said, "We can't wait till he grows up and he can come and visit us at the office." Here's some more of Daddy's work friends. Finally, most of the people went home, and Daddy and Mommy settled in to the hospital room where they were going to stay for 2 days while you got bigger and stronger and were ready to come home. We came to visit you while you were in the hospital. This is the first time that I changed your diaper. I held you a lot when you were a tiny baby in the hospital. You felt so good in my arms, and I would just hold you and sing, "Nani, nani, nani." Here you are, just 1 day old. Your mommy took that picture, and you were looking right at her. Here's another picture. You were looking all around, trying to see, what is the world like? Finally, Dr. Tamor said, "Gino is big enough and strong enough to go home now." So Mommy and Daddy got you all dressed in your clothes so you'd be nice and warm to take you home. Daddy put these little gloves on your hands because he didn't want you to scratch your face with your fingernails. Mommy put her clothes on and wrapped you up nice and warm and said, "Let's get out of here. Let's go home." And here is Mommy and Daddy with their newborn son, Gino. Mommy asked you, "Okay, Gino, are you ready to go home?" What do you think you thought? So they got out of the hospital room, and the nurse had Mommy sit in a wheelchair so that she would have a nice, safe trip back to the car where Daddy had parked it. Mommy's getting ready to give you to Daddy because he has to put you in your car seat for the very first time. I don't think you liked that car seat. You were screaming and hollering, and we were trying to figure out how to buckle you in. Look how tiny you were in that car seat. And now you're home, in your little cradle where you could sleep, and you're looking around. This is my new home. And a couple weeks later, you celebrated your first Christmas. Uncle Brian took this picture of you with your new best friend, Vito. Happy birthday, Gino Bossy. We were so happy you were born, and your family loves you very, very much.